Hi guys, welcome to the Cyber Times. Glad to have you all with us. We're going to speak a little bit about trends in the cybersecurity space, what's happening, what's going on, how things are developing, and how to secure your guys' future with the cybersecurity threats that's out there. And today we'll have Christine and Tamila with me. So please subscribe, like, and share this with everybody that you can.
Thank you, Dion. So my name is Christine Fick. I'm part of the management team at 2TS. And I have a very keen and vested interest in phishing as one of the topics that Dion mentioned.
Thank you so much, Christine. Yeah, thank you. My name is Dumela Mashogo, and for the purpose of today's conversation, my keen interest is on insider and human error. I'm looking forward to it.
Thanks, Tamila. I appreciate it. And I'll be speaking a little bit about the ransomware and how that influences the IT side and your organization at the end of the day. So let's get into it.
So one of the main threats today in today's cyber world is phishing. And I want to just discuss how that affects businesses in South Africa and globally today. So just points to look out for, especially now with the Christmas season. We all want to do online shopping. Nobody wants to be caught in a mall. And then, there's these big brands out there enticing you, but it's not really the big brands specifically. So maybe the domain was spoofed or whatever the case might be. And hackers gotten access to that domain, and there's a slight adjustment to the domain, so you're not specifically sure what to look out for. Interestingly enough, we presented earlier today to a customer, and the guys that presented highlighted a domain for us and asked us, and I mean we're the experts, asked us to see if we can spot the anomaly, and it was so well done that it was actually just like the eye with the stripe instead of the dotted eye, but it's such a small change that you don't pick it up.
Yeah. And that's the thing, Christine, I see a lot of people out there, because we're going into the season of shopping, it's, the big brands, the blue brand, the yellow brand, those that's online that you always shop from. You never look at the website. You never go and look, does it have the lock on? Does it have this? Is it rightly spelled? Is it the right domain used? You just go, and then they steal the information. Yeah. Then they steal your credit card details. Yeah. Then they make payments on your behalf. You're not looking at it because you thought, I'm Christmas shopping. I'm buying presents for my family. And that's the biggest threat that we have out there is people are not educated to look at what are the right triggers and what are the things that we should look at to verify at the end of the day.
And it's very interesting that you say that, Jan. I was watching something on social media. I spent quite a bit of time just, socially looking at what's on TikTok and the likes. And I actually saw an individual talk about how she was, I don't even call it spoofed or really like scammed, if you will, through her bank, and how much money she's lost. And this is, you would assume that sometimes phishing and the different scams will apply to people that are not really aware or don't really have an inclination in terms of IT. But this lady is a young lady, just like me and you, well informed, but it got to her. They were able to get money out of her account using actually AI, because she was actually on the phone with someone from the bank. She thought, who told her that, listen, we need you to do ABC, and she followed the prompts, and she did this and she did that. And she says, funny enough, she wasn't panicking because she wasn't getting any notification on her app. She wasn't getting any OTPs or whatever. So she was saying, it's fine. Only when I get an OTP request, then I'll start to panic.
Yes.
But they somehow bypass, systems like the OTP to actually get into a bank account and take money. So to your point, the education of people is very big, and I think we always think we know until something happens to you. You don't really know enough. So I think in this silly season, as Christine called it, we have to constantly be aware, not just us as professionals or as experts, but even our families, teach our families, our brothers, our sisters, our parents, how to be aware online.
And I think it's exactly that, right? Phishing used to be just a mail that you get, and it's changed. And and I think especially on the banking side and those AI phone calls from the bank, for people to actually, if you feel that there's something's not right, or trust your gut, and rather say, no problem, let me call the fraud department. I know it's happened to me. I got a phone call from ABSA, and they also, I don't even know what they wanted to verify, and there was a fraudulent transaction. And fortunately, I was more aware because it's not a card that I use. And I phoned, I said to the lady on the phone, thank you very much. Let me have a look at it, and I will reach out to the fraud department. Yeah. And I naturally phoned the fraud department from ABSA, and they said, no, there's no such transaction. So I think my advice for people, when you get a phone call and you're unsure, or you just get a feeling that something's not right, just end the call and maybe just contact the fraud department, should it be from the bank or that specific supplier, and just verify.
And with that, you don't always get a call, but you get SMSs. It's the blue brand sending you an SMS it's a delivery, it's a package that you click on, make payment for delivery, make payment for this. And sometimes that are frauds, that's phishing. And the way to spot it is just to think for yourself, listen, did I order something? Do I have to pay delivery? And if you're still unsure, call the person, look at the domain, call the people, call the brand. Say, listen, I have this package outstanding. This is my code. What's going on? Yeah. And there you can spot it. Rather than paying it just because you want to rush it, because it's always in a rush.
Yes.
They put you in the rush. The urgency, yeah.
100%. I agree with you. I mean, I'll speak as a lady. I think we do a lot of online shopping, right? And if you're familiar with online platforms like Yoshi, for example, if you're expecting a parcel, you'll get the SMS, right? It tells you that you need to pay your customer fee now. And you're just like, look, if I take any second longer, then my parcel's going to be delayed. But I like that you mentioned that we need to be a bit more, careful in terms of SMS that we receive, especially like to your point, if you're not expecting a parcel, then don't click on a link that says go ahead and pay your custom fees. But in addition to that, there's something interesting that they're also doing now. It's called phishing, using QR codes. I mean, I don't know how many people walk around with phones looking at QR codes, right? And I think that's something that we also need to be more aware of. I mean, to your point, if you receive a QR code, whether it's by email or whatever, if you're not expecting a QR code for any reason, if you're in an organization, rather ask the IT department, guys, listen, I've received this QR code, maybe in line with whatever, can you double check it for me if you're not sure? But otherwise, if you're not expecting, just simple rule of thumb, to your point, if you're not expecting anything, don't click on the link. Don't click on the QR code. Just don't do it.
Don't click.
Don't click. Don't click. Yeah.
Something else that comes to mind is insider threats and human error. And I mean, I think just that statement in itself is quite loaded, A lot of organizations overlook the fact that I read a stat somewhere actually that says 82% of breaches are because of human error and insider threat. And that simply means that it's because of someone that did something internally. Sometimes they're unaware, 100%, 100%. Sometimes not aware, sometimes aware. Sometimes intentional, sometimes unintentional. So there's a big aspect of education that must go into our users. As organizations, as business owners, as businesses, companies, we really need to put an effort to educating the workforce. In organizations, we have the lady who does our tea, who brings us tea, and then we have the gentleman who is our security guard, but connects onto our Wi-Fi. Yes. So we think, Simon doesn't really need to have any awareness. But the education for him actually will teach him to say, you're on our network, which means that you are a risk to the information that we provide as an organization. So education is such an important part from a human error / insider threat perspective.
No, definitely, Tamila. And I'm thinking about you mentioning the persons that you're not always thinking about that is connecting to your Wi-Fi. It's you don't think your secretary is a threat, but yes, she has the access to the CEO. She has access to the HR department. It's the HR lady that does the salaries. And all of us, and getting back to your point, all of us get phishing emails, but it's not being trained on how to look at it, what to look for, and they get compromised and the business gets compromised at the end of the day. So training doesn't need to be personal or on their own or anything. If the company adopts a standard of, listen, we want to better ourselves, better our environment, it starts with the workforce. It starts with the people. You can put all the tools in that you want. You can put all the technologies on every computer. It still takes a person that clicks on a link that doesn't know that compromises you. And that's where training is such a high priority actually within the business.
People always remain your first line of defense. That's, yeah. And it is, I think, like Dion mentioned as well, and Tumela, I mean, exactly to what your point is, it is that user clicking on the link because they use their corporate email address for a purchase because I don't want my scallumpy to see or something, you don't know. So I use my corporate email address, not thinking, you know, so now they get the links and they click on the wrong stuff and they jeopardize the business. And at the end of the day, every hacker is just out for information, be it IP of the company, personal information. They're always just looking for information. So how do you secure your information by making sure that, you know, you take care of the human risk, your human element?
Training the people, just training the people, just getting them educated. It takes away almost 80% of your business risk. As you said, it's 80% of breaches. It just takes away 80% of the risk that's in your business just by training the people. And it's not a very costly thing to do. It's a very easy thing to do. You can identify people that does not want to train, people that's defying the training, people that's very good in the training, that will be basically your champions within the organization, that trains the other people again or holds them accountable. And you know where your risks are. Listen, is my secretary a risk? No, she's not. Maybe she's not connected. But my HR is a risk person because she handles all of the payroll.
Yeah, and I think there's so many solutions in place, right? That talk to that and it really simplifies the way that they go about executing the training, and that can be tailored by organization, right, based on the different roles, different severity or risk that each individual has in the organization. And I think it's important for businesses and organizations to really spend some time doing some research in terms of what can we execute within our business from a training perspective to educate our users or our employees rather, and really make it interactive, make it fun, make it to a point, not it's mundane, and you feel like you have to comply, but make it really interesting for the users, that educates them and teaches them the risks, and the benefit of understanding what is what from a risk, it is from an information perspective.
Rather than ticking the compliance box at the end of the day.
100%.
Yeah, and I think also a critical part that most organizations overlook is who has access to what information. I mean, who controls that? And I think that's a very key thing that we in cybersecurity refer to adopting the zero trust approach, right? So assign least privilege to everybody and manage who has access to what. Because as much as we're talking about clicking on links and stuff, if it comes to insider threats, it's those, the IT guy that you don't know what access he has. Tomorrow he leaves the organization, but he's still got access to your systems and you don't know. So, it takes some time to assess your organization, assess the systems you use, the tools you use, who's got access, who's got what level of access. I mean, most solutions today, they allow you to have super admins or just a user admin or just a user, so you can assign different roles on your platforms. And I think that's also a very key takeaway for me, is just focus on who accesses what and keep your organization safe.
I really like that you say that. I mean, just something in particular that you've mentioned that just made me actually think is when people leave organizations and the access that they have, right? How many of organizations actually have processes in place for when employees leave, to actually close, that access, the level of information and that they have. Because sometimes, we've got disgruntled employees who leave organizations, maybe not on a happy note. And sometimes then you want to, pay back, you want to tit for tat, and that could be at the cost of a company, a really, really reputational, financial. There could be so much implication on information that's said by someone who's no longer part of the organization.
Yes.
So
and you
what you
know,
mentioned,
because you don't have control over that anymore.
100%, yeah.
And it's also to your point, I think, we all have a very strict onboarding process because we want to make it very nice for everybody to join the team, and you must feel welcome from the start, but we don't put the same emphasis on offboarding employees.
Correct, yeah. And then your data is leaked. Then there's issues of popular compliance. Then there's issues of insider threats. Then there's issues of maybe ransomware, of whatever the case may be. And it's just because you didn't put the right measures in the first start, giving people the correct training, giving the people the correct commands to follow, could save you millions at the end of the day. And it's such an easy thing to do. And it's basically gets down to training. Training your people. And Tamila, lashing on what you said regarding the human error, it's the human errors that leads to ransomware at the end of the day. It's people clicking on the link, not being educated, and then the hacker gets inside the system. The hacker gets inside the system, takes control of the system, and then ransomware is applied. It's a screen of a face of a yellow or white or red skull standing there and telling you, listen, please pay me some Bitcoin. Please pay me some Ethereum or whatever the case is that they use these days. And that's how it gets to it. And then your systems are off. Your systems are dead. You don't have a business anymore because all of our businesses are IT driven. There's no business out there that's not IT driven. And once your system is down, you don't have control of anything. And I just normally think about the losses you occur of not operating, not sending out invoices, not getting in payments, people changing your payment details to their payment details at month end. We are at month end now. People changing your payment details because the hacker gets the cash at the end of the day. And they take control. And then what is your way out? It's possibly paying the ransomware, having insurance. What is your way out at the end of the day?
And also, sorry, Tamila, I also read the other day, I think, I can't even remember who released the report, and they were saying that, cyber attacks cost South African business in the past year up to 22 billion rand. So it's critical.
Yeah, and of course the impact varies, right? Depending on the sector, to your point, over and above of losing access to systems. What about the loss of time? You lose time, the time that you lose supporting your customers in the various sectors that you are. Let's say, for example, you're working in the health sector, over and above time, there's information, personal information, customer information. If you're working in a sector where you're dealing with personal information, you might find yourself in a corner where you actually have to pay the ransom. Because if I'm a customer and you are a service provider and you're dealing with my information, I'll advise you to pay that ransom because I don't want my information to be out there. So, what methods and procedures do we have in place to circumvent that, to really prevent that from happening or getting to the worst case where ransomware is concerned? Very true.
And I think we also, often we think, it has to be these complex solutions, but it's something as simple as keeping your patch management up to date. Your monthly, there's a reason Microsoft releases patches on a monthly basis. Ensure that your patch management is kept up to at least industry standard of 96%. So, and that takes, honestly, patch management takes care of almost 80% of your business risk.
And it's the low-hanging fruit that the guys go after. It's the low-hanging fruit. It's just not having the patch that the guy takes control of the infrastructure, and he goes in and he takes the information he wants. He can stay in the information, just learn from your business, just learn how you operate, then attack. The biggest thing is they have time at their disposal, because you don't know if you're not hacked if you don't have a patch manager or EDR system in place. And those two are the biggest things just to have in place at a very low cost type of security, to ensure that you don't get ransomware or people don't get into your system.
And what's the timing? We're in the last quarter of the year, right? And people know that executives are preparing to jump on their business class and take their families overseas. So people know that people are preparing to wind down, or at least the bad guys, right? And it's very important as business owners, as organizations, going into the silly season, as Christine called it, to ensure that we've got systems in place, to ensure that we've got our patching up to date, that we've got proper EDR solutions in place where necessary, depending on your organization type. You really have the bare minimum in place that you can really have a good holiday. You can really enjoy your break in December and not have to stress about getting a call that, hey, this is what has happened. Now you must negotiate whether you need to pay the ransomware, how much information has been lost, etc., etc.
And backup, right?
Yeah.
Backup.
Backup.
And it's such an easy thing to do. It's just having a backup. How many businesses out there don't have backups?
Yeah.
And just think, no, it's not going to happen to me. The idea, it's not going to happen to me at the end of the day.
Or it's never happened to me.
Yeah, and once it happens, then you lose everything, and you have to start all over again. Because what's the thing you're going to do? It's are you going to pay, or are you going to do a backup? No, I don't have a backup, so I have to pay.
I have to pay.
What's that saying? It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when.
Yeah. And the ransomware is possibly, and I can guarantee, way more expensive just having a normal backup solution.
Yes.
You can go over above, you can segregate systems, you can put it on different servers, you can put other things in place. But just doing the normal standard things for your business, backups, patch management, EDRs, can save so much money for such a little cost. And then take the rest of the money that you're saving and put it on your own crypto account and save for the business and invest that rather than paying it.
Christmas gifts.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Find another way to use money that you could carelessly lose if you don't have the right procedures and systems in place. 100%.
Yeah. And I think the biggest concern is like when we think ransomware, we think IT, and it only affects my IT environment. But depending on the industry you're in, you might have your OT environment, and you don't realize OT equipment connecting into your IT environment, or those. So that's where, your network segregation and stuff becomes very important. Those are the things that you need to look out for, because at the end of the day, OT breaches, we know, can cost a life. It's not just
100%. The safety element of it, right?
Safety element, And once again, it gets back to just we all are connected.
Yeah.
Just doing the right stuff at the right time at the lowest cost can save you millions at the end of the day. If it's saving a life, if it's saving you money, it can save you so much. To keep the guys out of your internal systems at the end.
Yeah. And I think also if we just go back to backups, what is your time to recovery and what your backup schedule? Those are very important things to look out for. Like, how many days can your business go with that loss of information? Do you really want to go back to a customer and say, no, I didn't get that email because, we were ransomed?
Yes.
That has got long-lasting reputational damage to any business.
Yeah, in addition to loss of information, what about loss of income? How many days can your business survive not generating income? If you are offline for 4 or 5 days, maybe as I don't know, a health sector, can you really come back after that? Are you able to recover the cost that you've lost? So 100% to your point, Christine.
And a backup is like that. If you have the right backup set up, it's basically switching over to your backup and you go on with business. There's no reputational damage. There's no cost of ransomware payment. You basically tell the ransom guy, listen, bye. I'm going on with my business. You don't have control of me.
Bye. Not today. I'm not the guy.
Not today. And it's such an easy thing to do, but we don't think about it. It's that old mindset of, it's not going to happen to me, so why do I bother? But when it does, it bites you. And it bites sore.
Yeah.
So back to basics, I suppose. Yeah.
Patch, protect, backup.
As basics,
Basics. I love what you guys are saying. And what would be your guys' advice for the next 30 days, going silly season before vacation starts? What can a business implement in South Africa to overcome these risks they are facing? Christine?
So and I think from a phishing perspective, organizations should look at running phishing simulations, and then just verify that you have solutions in place where somebody clicks on the wrong link or accesses the wrong place, that it's caught within another solution, and your organization's not further infected because of that one user.
Awesome.
I think from a human error, an insider threat and human error perspective, Dion, I think running awareness training, right? Something as simple as running awareness training for our people. And I mean, some companies will be like, oh, okay, that doesn't talk to me. I don't have a solution. But it's something as simple as getting someone into a room, with all your employees and actually showing them, teaching them, training them on awareness from a cybersecurity perspective, what to look out for, what to be wary of. And that can really help you for the next 30 days, an immediate solution. And then going forward, you can look at possible solutions that can actually give you more coverage and more security from an organization perspective. Yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely. And on my point of the ransomware, we spoke about it. It's the low-hanging fruit that you have to do. It's the easy thing. It's the patch management, keeping that up to date, keeping it industry standard month to month on a 96. If you miss a month, you're below standard. That's a gap. So just keeping it up to date, putting in an active EDR, just doing it. It's the easy things, the two things that you can put in that can cover 80% of your risk of a cyber breach. And then your last thing, and we spoke about it, it's backups. Just doing a simple backup, if it's on a hardware, cloud, whatever, just do a backup so that you know you can switch over in an instant and you are capable of still running your business and there's no loss of income at the end of the day.
Yeah, so just to wrap it up, I mean, I think we've had a lot to discuss and we've really covered various topics. Maybe you're sitting at home thinking, oh, I don't even know where to start. They've covered so many complex topics and maybe some of the jargon has really flown over your head. Please feel free to look at our details in the description box. Get in touch with us. We are more than willing to walk this journey with you, to have conversations with you, look at your gaps and see how we can be of assistance. Until next time, see you on the Cyber Times.